Facebook, what's happening? What's up? What's going on? Welcome. So I've only got about 15 minutes, and then I got to head to a meeting for some training with some awesome other speakers that I go on weekly. But I wanted to do a really quick video and follow up on something from yesterday. So yesterday's video, I talked about two separate words that can help you sell more stuff, and that's the words "so that." If you haven't seen that video, go back in my profile, watch that one from yesterday. It's a live video I did yesterday. It's going to help you get where you need to be. All right. However, for this video you're watching today, a couple things. Number one, make sure you subscribe. I believe the live notifications button is still up in the top right corner. Also, it should pop up something in the bottom in the comment section that says subscribe to those videos, I believe. If it does that, either of those, just go ahead and click that button. That way you can get notified every time I go live. But let's talk about value for a few seconds here. I want to talk about this. And so, like I said, this is a follow-up to the other video yesterday. If you want to sell more stuff, at the end of the day, here's what's going to help you. So, oh, hey, Emily, what's happening? Welcome. By the way, guys, in the comments, feel free to leave your comments, whatever you think about the video. Hit the like button, the smiley faces, any of those things that kind of float across the screen. Always fun for me to watch that happening, especially when it's happening live. But let's dive into it, because like I said, I've only got a few minutes before I have to head on this meeting. And value. Let's talk about value. So the title of this video is "Price is only ever an objection in the absence of value." And all too often, as other entrepreneurs out there, we focus on why is someone objecting to paying for my product, my service, my whatever. Now, there's different forms of objections when it comes to objecting on price. They can outright say, nope, I'm not going to pay that much money. They can negotiate with you. But more often than not, what it comes down to is, when you're receiving objections about price, that means you haven't built the value for what you're offering yet. And you've got to fix that first. If you fix that first, then price won't ever be an objection anymore, because what will happen is, if someone doesn't have the money for it, they'll simply say, wow, that seems like a great deal. I just don't have the money. So it's not an objection of price. Then it's just an objection of, well, I don't have the money for it. If they don't have the money, they're not going to buy it anyway. So who cares? But if they're saying, oh, it's too expensive, I don't think it's worth it, things like that. When you're hearing stuff like that, that means you haven't done a good job of building the value for what you're offering for everyone else out there. And so a couple of things that I want to leave you guys with to help you overcome that price objection. The first part was the video yesterday that I talked about the "so that." We want to sell on emotions, and we want to sell on benefits, not on features. Features don't sell things. Features, if you sell features, this is when you will hit price objections, because it's hard to quantify the value of a feature. To me, a certain feature might be worth a lot. To someone else, maybe not so much. And so it's hard to justify a feature. When you sell a benefit instead, now all of a sudden, the benefit is always going to have a far, far greater value than the feature ever will. Because a feature is something that you can just get. A benefit's like, oh yeah, like I can see that. I can make that happen. Or I want that. It's a posturing thing. It's them saying, oh, you have this, I want it. The more they want it, the more they're going to pay for it at the end of the day. So that's number one. You've got to drive value through the selling of, again, benefits. And like I said, check out my other video. I kind of walked through how to start doing that, some of how to start doing that before. All right. Next, you have to stack the value. Okay. Now, this is a term that I don't remember where I heard it first, but stacking value is a hugely, hugely important piece of overcoming price objections. And what do I mean by stack the value? I mean, you've all been on webinars. I'm sure you've seen it, a webinar, a sales pitch, even watching infomercials on TV, right? They're like, well, you're going to get this, but wait, there's more. And then they stack this and this and this and this, and they stack all these things on top of it, so that all of a sudden you're like, oh man, like, wow, I can totally see why that's worth, $20 or $200 or $2,000 or $20,000. It doesn't matter what the price point is. You just have to stack the value in front of what you're offering. So stack value as much as you possibly can. And you'll go through and you'll figure out how you stack value very quickly. If you don't know what your customers would value, just ask. Straight up, just say, hey, what else would make this better for you? What would make this more worth it? What would make this easier to use, quicker to implement, easier to understand? anything of that nature. Just ask and then stack those values in what you're doing. If you stack that in there, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, hey, for 20 bucks or again, 20,000, doesn't matter what the differential in the price is. All of a sudden they're like, man, that's totally worth it. I can see that being completely worth it. All right, so again, sell on benefits, stack the value. And then the last thing I want to leave you with here is don't bring the price up first. All right, he who talks first, or he who basically gives the price first, that's the person who loses. It's true. All right, and so stack the value, sell the benefits, talk about what it's going to do, throw in some feature things, because you've got to have some features in there, but it shouldn't be the only thing that you have. And build all that up, and then only after you've built all of this value, and you've been building it up and up and up and up and up and up, then what you want to do is you want to bring the price up. And what will happen is if you bring the price up after you've done all of this value building, what's going to happen is everyone's going to go, oh man, wow, that's totally worth it. I can totally say I'm going to get all of that stuff for only this price. All right, notice the difference of only this price versus I've got to pay that much, or, oh, it's so expensive, or, I don't know if it's worth that much. All right. Notice the difference in the words there. And that's a huge, huge part of what you do. All right. So again, build the benefits. All right. Sell the benefits, whatever those are. And if you're not sure, ask. Stack the value. Again, if you're not sure, ask. Guys, and also side note, complete sidebar here. Something that people don't do often enough is just straight up ask their customers, how could they make the experience better? How could they make the product, the service, the etc., the whatever better? Great case one, actually. I just got back from a car dealership, dropping my car off to have a small repair done today. When I pulled up for my appointment at noon, I actually pulled up about 5 minutes early. I stood around for about 6 minutes before someone finally walked over and said, hey, have you been helped yet? And I'm like, nope. And that's, they did a fantastic job, and they were super nice once they got a hold of me and got in, I'll say, their system. But I stood there for several minutes, just kind of twiddling my thumbs, looking around, going like, hello, is anyone going to help me here? What are we doing? And the funny part is that that particular company rarely ever actually asks for feedback about the service. And they did a really great job in a lot of areas, and others not so much, but they never ask. And again, that's a customer service example, but the same differential in customer service as with sales. Just straight up ask people what it is that they want. What can make it better? What can make it more helpful, etc. And then build that into your value. All right. Just build that piece in, and all of a sudden you'll be selling a heck of a lot more, because also now you have exactly what they want. And you'll also be surprised what kind of stuff out there people actually want. A lot of times it's something small, just a little thing here, a little thing there that's going to make it all the much better if you execute it. And so, guys, this is my tips for building the value to overcome the price objection. Remember, price is only ever an objection in the absence of value. So if you're receiving price objections, you haven't done a good job of building the value. Go back and figure out what is it you're offering. Take a look at the sales tactics you're using. Take a look at the words that you're using. Are you talking features or benefits? Are you talking value? Are you actually building something that someone wants? Or are you giving them some erroneous thing that they're like, I don't get that. Why would I even want that? If someone doesn't want something, or it's not relevant to them or their audience, they're not going to perceive any value with that. And then one more thing I want to leave you with is value is all about perception. Perception. The value of something, while oftentimes it can be quantified, the perceived value of something is so much more important to take note of. So when I say perceived value, for example, if I were to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to put all this information into a PDF and I'm going to email it to you. What's the perceived value of a PDF from the information I'm talking about right here in this video? Well, probably not that high, because PDFs don't have a lot of perceived value. They have a very low perceived value. However, if I said I was going to send you a worksheet to ensure that you have everything that you need to when selling or putting together an offer to stack value and make it happen, and I was going to put it in a nice checklist for you so that you could never forget to do all of these things in every offer you put together ever again, what's the perceived value of that? It might be the same exact thing as what I just said. It might just be a PDF. Oh, thank you guys for all the likes. I love it. Thank you. It might be literally the exact same thing as what I just said. But notice the differential in how I sold the benefits, so you don't have to think about doing these things again. If I just say I'm going to send you a PDF, well, that's the feature, not the benefit. And also, what are you sending? The perceived value. A checklist has a higher perceived value than a PDF does. Even if the checklist is in a PDF, it doesn't matter. The perception is that it's worth more because I can use it for something. And so keep that in mind. And that was it, guys. That was a very simple example of this. But keep that stuff in mind as you go forward when you're selling things out there and doing better. All right, I got to run here pretty soon. However, here is something that I want you to do for me. If you've been getting some value out of this content, you've been watching my live videos, if you're on this one right now live, which I see a bunch of you on here, appreciate you being on. Thank you very much, by the way. In the comments below, I want you to write what is your number one tip for overcoming price objections. All right. So if you have something, put it in there. If it's something different than I talked about, I would love to hear it. I always love to see what other people are coming up with besides myself. Obviously, these are things that I've used and done in the past, but always new things happening, always cool things going on. I would love to see what you guys have to say. So again, just go ahead, leave that in the comments below. If you have any questions, as always, guys, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to answer questions. Like I said, I'm trying to do more live videos when I can. They will be short, 10, 15 minutes, something like that, because I know you guys' time is valuable and busy, and you don't have time to sit here and watch an hour and a half of me rambling on. But I appreciate you being on. Again, one last time request, either in the top right corner or down in the comments, there should be a button to either get live notifications or subscribe to the videos. Make sure you do that so you can see whenever I do go live, because my schedule doesn't allow me to always be 100% consistent in the times that I go on, but I do try to get on as much as I can. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your guys' comments below. Take it easy. Have a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you in another video in the future. Bye, guys.